welcome back to my Astroimaging Journey channel. And lucky maybe, we'll see. The precision, let me get it over here. The precision, I keep calling it precision. PreciseParts.com. Finally got that little flange in from them. And let's look at, so this is the original flange. As you can see there, that went on to the OAG. This one came with the OAG. Got a little bit of a standoff here, and then you got your threading on the side over here, and this one looks pretty much the same. I'm hoping this part right here is a little bit thinner. So let's see if we can get a side by side. It looks to be, get my thumb out of the way. And stack it up right there. Just a hair thinner. Maybe by 2 millimeters. Yeah, maybe a little bit more. Yeah, let me get the calipers. All right, so from the back side to the front side, we are looking at about 12.5 millimeters. And on the new one, this one's going to be a little bit tougher. This should be right in there. And that's about 10 millimeters. So that saved me 2 millimeters. If you remember, first time I was having the problems, the original flanges and all the setup I had, I was at 55 millimeters from the face going into the camera, the DSLR, to the face going towards the autofocuser. And in the setup I have running right now, 31 millimeters is where I'm at. So for that distance. So that meant I needed to save 24 millimeters to be in the mid-range of that autofocuser's adjustment. So to that end, we previously talked about our little Canon adapter, and now we have this guy here, this little flange, custom made from PreciseParts.com. So, and of course I drop stuff. So let's see how this fits. That fit on really nicely. So the camera will be able to marry up against that. And then on here, so now we need to know what our distance from this side is to that side. How close to 31 are we? So we're going to check it. And it appears we are at 42, which would be about right. The new attachment for the OAG saved me 2 millimeters, and this saved me 10 millimeters. So We're now at 42, 43. Let me check that again. Between 42 and 43, closer to 43. So that would put us at 12 over where I need to be. And 12 plus the 12 savings is 24. So the math adds up. So we've gotten half of what I needed. Now, there are other OAGs where the body here is thinner, but that also means the prism is much smaller. Not sure what I'm going to go with yet. I'm hoping this will still work. I can move the primary mirror a little bit. It might be a millimeter, might be 2 millimeters, that I'm not sure. And let me look at how big is my fingernail here. My fingernail is about 11, 12 millimeters wide. And where the autofocuser currently is in the travel is around that. So between the mirror and the autofocuser adjustment, I might be able to make it with the current temperature. I'd be able to at least get in focus and test, and as long as the temperature goes down, I'd be able to, the autofocuser would be able to move out. The problem is if I am too close to the 0 point, then it's not going to be able to move in far enough to actually do an autofocus routine the way it needs to. So, we will see. I'm going to try it though. I am going to try it. You know, if it works, great. If not, then the dilemma comes, do I just wait until I get the dedicated camera, or do I get an OAG with a thinner wall and then save this one for when I get the dedicated camera, and or thinner body rather, and then save this one for the dedicated camera later on and make full use of the prism in this thing. Not sure. So I'm gonna definitely try to make it work. We got a boatload of rain last night. Front yard's kind of flooded, which means it's probably going to be kind of humid tonight. Humid in the sense that not 90 degrees and humid, because it's only supposed to be in the 40s tonight. But that moisture is going to be sticking around. So the air is going to be thick, and it probably means the dew point might be up too. We'll see. I'm going to try, if the clouds break, because that's the problem right now. It's misting right now. We're on the back side of this little storm system coming through, and so we're getting some little mist here and there, but around 6, 7 o'clock it's supposed to break and clear up, and then be clear all night long. So we will see. I need a drink of water. So we will see. I might try to at least get this installed and see if I can at least achieve focus. And then I can do some testing, because if I can at least achieve focus, then I can test out the guide camera and PHD2 guiding, and hopefully get some testing done on some subs before it gets too cold, and the auto, you know, and then I'd have to refocus. So I'm not sure. I'm kind of hoping I can do that tonight. But yeah, where we're at right now, I now have everything I hope I need. I would have liked to have had this right here be thinner, but I'll get that. So this part right here be thinner, but unfortunately that was the minimum that they would make. And yeah, we'll see how this works. So hopefully later tonight I will be able to install this and get it up and running and in focus. Don't know if I'll be able to use the autofocuser, depending on how much travel's there, because we need 4 and 4. 4 times 4 is 160, or 16 times 10 is 160. I think that's about right. Or is it 45? Is my steps 45? I think my steps are 45. So if that's the case, then that's an additional 20, so 180. So as long as when this is installed, if I can get focus and the autofocuser is in the 200 or more position, then I should be able to do an autofocus, at least while the temperatures are cooler. When the temperatures get warmer and it moves in as opposed to out, then I want to run into problems, but hopefully by then I will have the new camera, which I'm still researching and more importantly saving for. So hopefully, like I said, tonight we will get this working. And now, why am I saying the dedicated camera? Well, if you remember in one of the videos, the distance between the mount point here and the sensor in a DSLR is 44 millimeters. And the sensor, the dedicated Astro cameras, let me take this off and we'll leave it down there for now. You know, they're going to screw on right onto these threads. So if I go monochrome, you're going to have the filter wheel that's going to be a few millimeters thick. And then you're going to have your camera mounted behind that, and the camera sensors are generally 6.5 to 13. I've seen some outliers of that range, but 6.5 to 13. So let's say 13 on the outside, at least for the ones I'm looking at. So even if your filter wheel is 10 millimeters, then that's still 23. It still gives me 21 millimeters closer with this setup, which would then move me back out into the mid-range, because I have to move this in about 12 more. So with the dedicated camera, should be able to use this without any problems. And yeah, so with that, I'm gonna go see what the dogs are barking at. And I want to say thanks everybody for watching. Hopefully I get this working tonight. Hopefully you found this interesting. Please stick around for the outro. As always, clear skies. Have a good one. Thanks for watching yet another episode from the Astroimaging Journey channel. Really appreciate your viewership. In our upper right, we have the latest video that I have posted prior to this one. Down in the lower right, we have what YouTube thinks you will enjoy. Below is a subscription link. Please hit that like button, subscribe if you so choose, ring that bell if you want to get notified of something new, and as always, thank you, clear skies. Remember to